At this point, you've probably seen many YouTubers quote that one article that says about 70% of today's kids dream of being a YouTuber. It's like the Gen Z version of being a rock star. And as a member of Gen Z, well, I can confirm, I mean, look what I'm doing right now. I myself, I'm caught up in this whole desire to have fun in front of a camera and make a job out of it. But apart from that, the more general, widespread term influencer on TikTok and Instagram is another really popular career goal for teenagers these days. But when you take a look at some of these influencers that teens aspire to be, are they what they appear to be? The most popular one amongst teenage girls are lifestyle influencers. They post videos of them wearing pretty dresses and eating fancy foods and living the life, the dream that everyone wants. And let me show you a couple. So here we have an influencer called Helen Owen. Just your usual influencer. I cannot tell you how successful she is. There's her in Europe somewhere. And here's her, you know, looking all pretty next to some rocks. In a lovely looking place with a hot tub. Generally just doing things that most people, especially teenage girls, would aspire to do. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with wanting to do these things. But the problem is, they sell this as their lifestyle, that their whole life goes like this. No, it doesn't. These examples are very successful Instagram influencers, I think. For example, Annabelle Fleur, another one, given lots of dresses, I'm sure very expensive, but they're given to her as sponsors. She can't pay for these. The companies give these to her to market to all these people. The long story short of what I'm trying to say here is people are now aspiring to have a lifestyle that just doesn't exist. Just imagine one of these fancy lifestyle influencers taking a shit. Like, and it's runny, they've had a bad night, the stuff they ate is just pouring out, and it's disgusting, it stinks, and it's everywhere. All over the toilet bowl. Well, they're not going to post that part of their life on Instagram because who wants to see that? But everybody poops, right? Now, this is just an extreme example, but what I'm trying to get at here is that it's marketing mainly to teenage girls a lifestyle that doesn't exist. And this is pretty unhealthy. Many of these models, they'll dehydrate, work out a bunch before the shoot to get a very brief, maybe a 1 hour window for a photo shoot, and then they sell that as they look like this all the time. No, they don't. They have chubby days and everything, you know? They dehydrate, don't eat anything, just to get the one perfect picture to show to the world. And if everyone who views these pages are trying to be like this person, that's pretty unhealthy. Now, aspirations are perfectly fine. If you want to be an influencer, that's fine. I mean, I do. But you have to remember the life they're telling you to have doesn't exist. Aspirations are good, but you just have to be realistic. I mean, they'll do things like caption a sponsored dress photo as just another Friday feeling. This is what they do every day, when in reality, most of these Los Angeles influencers spend most of their day getting coffee for some big film producer and running errands and stressing their heart out, and then go home and shoot a picture of them in a dress that was given to them by Gucci, or that they paid a lot of money for and hope that their Instagram will eventually pay the money for that dress one day. It's not the glamorous life we think it is. The real problem is that all of these platforms, Instagram and TikTok, are short-form video content, so not much effort is needed to capture a moment and then sell that whole moment as everything you are. But there's more to you than that. Whether or not you want to show it to people, well, that's up to these influencers. If you want an example of proof that these LA influencers and other places aren't doing so well, there's an abundance of LA influencers on a site called Collabstar, where you pay to collab with these influencers. Now, if they're actually living the dreamy lifestyle that they claim to, why would they need to charge for collabs? And if you're going to make the argument, oh, they just want to help other influencers grow because they're passionate about the medium, well, then they wouldn't need to charge for it if they have all this money, right? Either that, or they have a god complex where they think they need to charge for their time like that. Now, a lot of this has been targeted at female influencers so far, and the negative effect they have on the self-esteem of teenage girls. But no, it's not just the women. It's the men as well. Now, we all probably know at least one big buff male fitness influencer saying they're natty, right? Well, chances are they're not. In fact, the main coach who coaches all of these fitness influencers went on the record and says, most of these guys aren't natty. Now, the main one that's accused of being fake natural is Mike O'Hearn. Now, there's no proof, so I'm not going to, accuse him. But he claims to be all natural, and well, I mean, like, I mean, you get what I'm saying. Now, if these male fitness influencers are claiming that their godlike physiques are 100% natural, that's going to crush and weigh on the self-esteem of so many boys who are working out in the gym trying to get as buff as Mike O'Hearn, and they're wondering, am I not good enough? Why can't I get as big as him? Because chances are, he's fucking roided up, and you just don't know it. And they'll follow the instructions, all the paid workout plans, and they'll never get as big as that guy. Now, I'm not here to say roids are bad, because when you take steroids, you still have to work, to get all the muscle, either way. But at least be honest that you take it. Noel Dazel, for example, is a good fitness influencer because he does open up about the fact that he used steroids and also opens up about the downsides of them. So if you're going to follow a fitness influencer, a bodybuilding influencer, follow Noel Dazel. So in terms of body image problems, influencers for both women and men are causing a lot of problems at the moment, in my opinion. But let's be honest, most teenage boys aren't we're not grinding it out. We're not grinding it in the gym. I'm sitting in front of a computer all day, and I don't know, someone from mining crypto now or something. I don't fucking know. So what do they get targeted by? Well, hustle culture accounts like Sigma males, alpha males, all that stuff. These accounts will probably be miscellaneous statements with the general message of, don't spend your youth partying, work your ass off to make money, and laugh as everyone else struggles later. Don't sleep, grind only, chasing women is a distraction, work now and they'll come to you later. That's the general message. And all of these quotes are accompanied by pictures of strong fictional men, like Thomas Shelby from Peaky Blinders, and if you've watched that show, you know he's not a good person, you just shouldn't aspire to be like him. Or the Joker for some reason, even though he's like a terrorist. Now, I do agree with the sentiment that you shouldn't get too absorbed in parties or relationships from the age of 16 to 24, because if you put even a fraction of that time into working, life later on will be a little bit easier than it is for everyone else. But I don't agree with it to the same extreme that these social media accounts claim. It's basically the Sigma male meme, but unironic. It's drilling into the heads of teenage boys that it's a sin to have fun. Which is bad because if they just stay at home for all of these years, they become socially inept. And these posts have a weird way of talking about women as if they're objects, which, will definitely mess up the minds of all of these socially inept kids, right? So yeah, the base premise is fine, but the extremes it tells teens they should be going to, and the subtle, weird way of talking about women as property, makes me worried for the kids of the future. Okay, so here's an example of some of these alpha male quotes. A woman who's too weak to love you is not strong enough to keep you down. Don't let her. So loving you makes someone weak, is the message here. It's your money. Invest in ideas and business, not in emotions and people. So shut yourself off from all feelings and just become a true psycho. Again, you fall for her. Again, you trust her. Again, she lied. Again, she broke promises. Again, she left you, and again, you cried. So basically, don't take risks. Don't take risks in any relationship at all, because there's a chance you might get hurt. Which is like, basically just saying, cut yourself off from life. So, yeah, basically, it's just telling all teenage boys that every single woman is like a villain or something, which, I'm sure that's gonna have great results when they're adults. Now, speaking of treating women as property, Andrew Tate. This guy has blown up lately for his wild takes, and whilst I just laughed at him initially, I began to realize that some of these younger Gen Z people are taking the guy seriously, which is very, very scary. Their brains are so malleable at this stage, and Andrew Tate is all over their TikTok For You pages just blasting terrible take after terrible take after terrible take. quick backstory on Andrew Tate. He kickboxed, ran a webcam site, had his house raided, and allegedly had women there against his will. And then he blew up whilst on a media tour for his Hustlers University paid course. Are you seeing a recurring theme here? Now, I could just say a lot of shit about Andrew Tate, or I could let some clips speak for themselves.
You cheater, you cheating. It's bang out the machete, boom in her face, and then grip her up by the neck. Like, shut up, bitch!
This is the basic dynamic of male females. If a woman respects you, she wants to have sex with you. It doesn't matter if a woman likes you. If a woman can see you have ambition and you're genuinely pushing hard, then she'll be fine. Now, what a woman doesn't want is a guy who's in X place and isn't trying to get anywhere else. But when I was a struggling fighter and I couldn't pay the rent, I was banging girls left, right, and center. And they were loving me and they were loyal to me. And this is the thing. You see it all the time in relationships. Oh, me and my wife.
Yeah, so you get the point. So the thing about this man is, he starts off with some truth and then mixes it in with just a bunch of nonsense. For example, staying in the same place and not aspiring to get somewhere better than you are now. That is a bad thing. You should aspire to be better. He's right about that. But then he mixes it in and applies it to this thing about, if a woman shows you any respect, it means she wants to smash. How do you... A woman opened the door for me the other day. I guess she was trying to hit. Might try find her. Where's the logic in that? It doesn't make sense. Yeah, and there are teenager boys watching this, and some of them are actually buying into this crap. I understand you grow out of a lot of stupid shit when you go from being a teenager to adulthood. I mean, I think I would probably hate 15-year-old me if I spoke to him now. But some people don't grow out of that. I know some people who never grew out of their teenage mindset, and it's probably not uncommon. Oh yeah, by the way, breaking news, just as I'm editing this, has just come out that Andrew Tate has been banned off of Facebook and Instagram. What do I think about that? Well, he deserved it. He very clearly violated the guidelines of these platforms. But it's not going to fix anything. I mean, every single YouTube Shorts or TikTok or Reel I've seen of Andrew Tate haven't been from Andrew Tate's account. So it's just going to be a bunch of re-uploads now for all these kids to watch and absorb. And honestly, by banning him, you're just going to have a bunch of kids sort of like, oh, they're silencing him. They're silencing my boy, Andrew Tate. You know, they're muzzling him. And yeah, I think it's just going to rally them up even more. And yeah, I'm just including this for the sake of fully informing you guys for this video, and have fun with the rest of it. Now, a lot of people who buy into this are losers who will probably never leave their house and won't be much of a threat to women. But a lot of them will be normal dudes with Andrew Tate brain walking around treating women like shit. The man thinks women shouldn't drive because he was in a car crash with one. You've probably heard about this one. And he also just outright said that women are property, and even thinks men deserves a cut of their girlfriend's OnlyFans if they have one, because the man owns her private parts. And guess what? He does not think it goes both ways. What happens when these kids go into the world as adults? The last thing we need is to make it even scarier for women to go out. There's a big chance Andrew Tate will push the younger Gen Z kids back in time, and really needs to be stopped. He's the biggest threat to Western women, and honestly, the title of influencer is the worst thing anyone could have given him. But what's the point here? Basically, influencers have a little bit too much power. They're showing off these fake lifestyles to just make people like us feel unhappy with their own, because they'll show a pretty picture of themselves and not them taking a big wet poop. And if you aspire to be like them, you never will be that way, because it's all smoke and mirrors, and that can be very depressing for some, because they don't realize they're being tricked. Fake bodies make people unhappy with their own. Dishonesty about methods is going to mess up people's confidence. And lastly, toxic personalities like Andrew Tate can be put on blast and really just spread like wildfire in the minds of the youth. I have always felt like the internet is a pendulum. We had that really edgy era of comedy that I think we all regret, and it swung over to being very progressive and liberal and nice. And now, maybe with the rise of Andrew Tate and other similar influencers, the pendulum may be swinging back to this darker, edgier side that could mess up the upcoming teens. And at the end of the day, there's something wrong with influencers right now, but I can't stop them. Yeah, I know this is different to what I normally talk about on my channel, but it's been pressing on my mind for a while, so I thought, yeah, no, I'll give it a go. If you liked it, check out my other videos. They're nothing like this, but I'll probably do more like this. Subscribe and let me know in the comments. What color is your Bugatti?